Testing, 1, 2.
Testing. Is that how quiet you're gonna talk?
Oh god, the heater turned on.
I forgot about it.
I'm back, and Juliana's back, and my teeth aligners are back, so that's why I have a lisp. But guess what's not back?
Christmas.
No, Christmas is almost back. Get out of here, Christmas. My freaking ads. Spotify for podcasters, formerly known as Anchor. You guys have heard me talk about on here all the time because they monetized my podcast episodes, and I got paid a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit per viewer listener. And now I'm not monetized at all, so I have no ads and no way to make money on this podcast because insert heater noise. Because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So since I don't have at least 1,000 people on here listening to every single episode has to have at least 1,000 listeners, that's impossible. I don't have a huge following. Now I can't make money on my podcast. So I'm going to need you guys to help by liking and sharing and reviewing and letting your friends know if they like mental health talks or real world talks, or if they just want to be annoyed, or if they just want some company while they're doing their dishes and their laundry and while you're driving. I'll keep you company, but I'm going to need at least 1,000 of y'all to be listening and tuning in monthly, because I would say weekly, but y'all know that I don't put up my episodes weekly. So that's even less. That's even less people that I need. Just 1,000 people a month. Anyways, they're not back. No ads for you. Lucky you. Kate too.
What?
So Juliana and I are both giggling because we're listening back to the last audio that we recorded. I was about to say, okay, where did we leave off? We left off when I was leaving a wedding that I was singing for. But what I've decided to do on this podcast is start off right now with Juliana here with me in my mom's basement. Will you say hi already?
Hi. Already didn't I?
No. Did you? I think you went,
Oh.
I don't even know what you said. Anyways, we're here in my mother's basement. If you remember from back in the day, the one that is haunted.
Not no more.
It's not no more? Why
I don't
isn't
think
it?
so.
What did you do? Some brujerias?
No. I think they're nice. If there are.
You think they're nice ghosts? A big black shadow? He's nice?
Well, he can't change if he's a shadow.
You were gonna say he can't change if he's black. Were you? She's trying so hard to cover her mouth and not
Well,
her face. If you could see her face, she's a shadow. Anyways, you think this is a nice ghost? I don't remember what the title of that episode was. You remember what we named it? Remember when we were in the basement and we were talking about brujas?
Brujas
Bumpets.
and that one lady.
Tyra Banks.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if you want to know what we're talking about, you can go back to episode, I don't know what number it is. Probably somewhere in the 20s. Brujas, Bumpets, and Tyra Banks. Oh my god. Anyways, technically, Juliana and I already started recording this episode, and we left off while we were sitting at the Featherbutt restaurant in, where were we? Three Oaks, Michigan, in a little random restaurant that we found on the side of the road because I like the sound of the ambiance in the background of these podcasts when we're sitting at a coffee shop and yada yada, except for I never have this nice microphone when we're in those places. And the last one that I did in the coffee shop, you remember we were at the Sip and I was telling
On
you
my
about,
birthday?
yeah, it was your
Yeah.
birthday, and I was telling you about the Tori Kelly, when I went to see Tori Kelly in Boston and I stayed at a hostel.
A little bit.
You don't remember?
I remember some things.
And you had to leave because mom was picking you up. Anyways, I like the sound of that. But we went to this restaurant and there was this guy being obnoxious in the background. So it sounded so cute except for him screaming. And so I was going to start off the episode there, but I didn't want to turn you guys off with the terrible, terrible audio. So I figured I would start off tonight with Juliana and then I'll insert the feather butt debacle here. But we were there because
We were hungry.
I mean, we were, but I yap too much and you never freaking talk. So would you like to explain to everyone on the podcast, this is my little sister, if you're new here, what we were doing in Three Oaks, Michigan, and what you did and what my job and your job was, etc., etc., etc.
Do I have to?
No, you can leave then. You don't have to be my guest. People like listening to you, and you are famous on TikTok for telling they love you and your dumb stories.
I forgot about my stories.
Yeah, I did it, and neither did TikTok. Your pencils. I'm pretty sure
moved.
the glue kid. Now you can't glue your fingers together with him. Is that what it was? You guys were gluing your fingers together?
Okay, yeah.
Mom's coughing upstairs. We're trying to be a little bit quiet because, of course, Mama Jung was upstairs and she'll start screaming at us. She already called Juliana on the phone. People are tired of hearing me talk, so it would be nice to hear you in your sweet little 5-year-old sounding voice and your laughing mouse laugh.
Because you had a wedding, and then
No, you start the story normal. Because you had a wedding.
that is normal. The setting is the wedding.
The setting, a wedding setting?
Uh-huh.
We gotta think of the name of this podcast.
The wedding setting.
The wedding setting. I was gonna say Black Ghost on Black Friday because we're sitting here. Oh, sorry, you guys don't even know. It is the night after Thanksgiving, so it's Black Friday. That is the time frame of us recording this. I'm not sure when you're gonna hear it, but we went to the wedding in Three Oaks, Michigan on November 11th. So it has literally been weeks, and I'm very behind. I'm very sorry, but continue. The wedding setting.
The wedding setting, and I was helping moving things, the heavy things. I went back and forth 30 times in those heels, and I was dying.
I told you not to wear them.
But at least I look good.
But at least I look good.
And then that day, somebody asked for my Snapchat.
Who?
When you were talking to Caleb, you remember when I walked away?
What?
The one that was moving the tables, he went like this and he asked for my Snapchat. So pretty.
He didn't think I was pretty and asked for my Snapchat.
Oh, he probably thought you were
old.
No, not young enough.
Oh my god. I said he probably thought I was old. No, not young enough. And how old do you think he is? He's working at a freaking wedding venue. You are a 15-year-old child.
16.
I'm 16 years old. I'm not a child anymore. Okay, Ariel.
I don't know. I think he's 17.
Why didn't you tell me that some guy asked you for your Snapchat? And first of all, if I would have known, I would have walked right up to him and smacked him in the face and said, "Don't ask my little sister for no Snapchat."
Why.
That's exactly why you didn't tell me. That's the worst app of all. Enough with the Snapchat. This is to all of you guys speaking. I'm very close to the microphone right now. Snapchat is bardage. It's straight bardage. It's a trash app. Delete it now. Don't sponsor me, Snapchat. Trash.
Anyways.
And let me guess, you're Snapchatting him?
No.
What did you tell him? My sister said no.
No. I said yeah. And then...
Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. The wedding setting. I don't even know this story, guys. This is a new story to me. Start from square one. Tell me every little detail.
You were talking to Caleb, and then I was bored, and I was looking around, and then I saw something in the corner of my eye move, and I looked.
A person? Oh my god.
And then he went like this, and I was
She's waving her arm over like he's calling her like a freaking animal.
no. How else was he supposed to call me?
He was supposed to walk up to you and say, "Hello, young lady."
Ew.
I don't even know what I was trying to say. Why did it come out like that? Her face is like disgusted. I'm disgusted. Hello, young lady. I would immediately know. Anyways, I don't know. He just waved you over. So you walked over to him. He didn't even walk up to you.
And then,
guys, I'm really, I promise I'm like not this protective. I'm just like, I don't know when this happened that I didn't see, because I try to keep an eye on her at all times, and I worry for her safety, and these terrible childish boys these days asking for Snapchats and texting you WYD, what you doing? Immediately no.
Well, anyways, let me get back to the story. Pretty sure he's like 17, and then we didn't even text for a day. He said, "Are you from
WYD?"
No, he said, "Are you around whatever that place was called?" And I
From
said,
Three
"No."
Oaks.
And then he said, "Oh, that's cool." And then he asked something about how was the wedding, and I said it was okay, and then that was it.
Are you serious?
But I still see his stories, and he goes to church, and he loves his little sister, and whatever.
Oh,
but that's
whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then that's it?
Yes, that's it.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Anyways, back to the main story.
That was a side tangent, but I needed to know because you're sneaky. You didn't even tell me because you knew I was not going to approve of your Snapchat.
No, because
shenanigans.
I thought I was literally standing this close to you.
No, you weren't. Mom texted her. Okay, Mom. She just got a text from my mom. Be quiet right now. What are you telling me? Now we're really trying to be quiet. Here, finish reading the text for them. It says, "Be quiet right now.
And please don't make me have to get up and go down there. I can hear you guys as I'm trying to fall asleep. I mean it. Shut it off now."
Dear God, we were already trying to be so quiet. I wonder if people like listening to this think that it's like so rude and disrespectful. Like we don't just shut it off. What am I supposed to do? Okay, good night. Just kidding. I'm never gonna do anything because I'm at my mom's house and she tells me to be quiet 24 hours a day. It's impossible. Oh my God. She gets. If you hear a long pause, it's because we're scared for our lives. This used to be my room down here in the basement, and me and Becky would be up at night like this, talking and laughing and giggling. And then my mom would be screaming from upstairs, "Stop, what? Oh my God, she's coming. We can't just act like we're sleeping."
Yes, we can.
Right now, she's about to do what I was going to explain that me and Tata did our whole lives. She would come down and she would say, "Go to bed right now." And we would turn around in the bed and we would act like we were snoring, as if she literally is stupid and doesn't realize that we were up. Was that me, Mom, that just got up?
Mm-hmm.
Juliana just darted off of the couch like she was going to run to the other room and jump in the bed and pretend like she was sleeping while I'm sitting here with a rainbow laptop and a rainbow microphone.
You could be talking to yourself.
I could be dreaming. I was having a nightmare that I was laughing so much and I couldn't stop laughing. And now my panza hurts from laughing. Somebody got up to use the bathroom. God, there's always some drama. Anyways, guys, I can't move back to my freaking mother's house. I'm not allowed to do anything as a 32-year-old woman. We were eating leftovers from Thanksgiving dinner earlier, and we're all sitting around the table, and my mom's like, "Jennifer, help clean up the kitchen. You wash the dishes," because Juliana's been washing the dishes all day. And I was like, okay. And 5 minutes later, they're playing Rummy Cube, and she looks at me dead in the eyes, and she says, "Why aren't you cleaning?" Juliana's on the other side of the room laughing right now. I was like, Because I'm eating. There was the toilet. You guys just heard me mom flush the toilet. I can't with this podcast anymore. I give up. I'm not even being paid for this. I quit. I'm going to need you to take a picture of me right now and post it to my Instagram stories for people in the podcast to see what I just did, because Juliana just got up to the other side of the room to unmake the bed so that when my mom starts running down the stairs to yell at us to be quiet, she said, okay, we're ready to run. And I was like, what are you going to do? You're going to run and jump in the bed after we're screaming and crying. And then I'm going to be over here in the room like this. She just took a picture of me. She's literally coming right now.
We're gonna laugh. I might cry and I'm gonna wanna tell you why, because hey, well that's just life.
Anyways, now that things have calmed down and mom is back in bed and we can be more quiet now and not as giggly, we'll get to the real part of the podcast. Oh, ready? What was your worst and best part of the week? There was the toilet. The worst part of your week?
Yesterday night, when you guys wouldn't shut up.
Yesterday night when we wouldn't shut up. Elaborate.
When you guys wouldn't be quiet.
How is that elaborating?
Because...
Are you not wanting to talk about it?
No, I don't care.
Well, we could talk about it because that's what Ill for Real is about, if you want. Because that's also my worst part of the week. So let's get deep. We're gonna get deep.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wrap it up.
Oh no, it's 12.
So yesterday at Thanksgiving, in a nutshell, our family is pretty dysfunctional and pretty bad at communicating. We're all pretty traumatized in our own different ways. A lot of us don't know boundaries, and some of us don't know how to respect certain people's boundaries. Some of us are working on it, and some of us are not. And every time something comes up in the family, instead of fixing it and working on it, we play board games. And I get really depressed around the holidays because they're pretty just filled with bad memories. And now as an adult, for me, they're very lonely because I always spent them with my spouse and my best friend, and I just feel really alone. And so I try to spend time with family, and it's hard when you try to spend that time with family and we're arguing or bickering, or it's just not fulfilling in a way that we can all be open enough with each other to be vulnerable and feel safe. So Juliana, as a 16-year-old, is witnessing this dysfunction as we deal with it in our 30s through 50s. Juliana played the role of trying to be a moderator in this situation, as I recently did with a friend of mine. I spent some time with her family, and they love me, as if I was one of their own children, and I feel very welcome and loved in their family. And they had some dysfunction going on and some pretty traumatizing things and some stuff that they seemed to not be able to work out after decades. But me being there unexpectedly, like as a guest and a visitor, I had an outsider's perspective. So they were talking about all of these situations that were hurtful and harmful to them, and they were just butting heads and not being able to see clearly with one another. And with their permission, I stepped in and offered an outsider's perspective, and they looked at me and were like, yes, please, like, help, like, what is it that we're not seeing about each other or hearing? And so there was, one person that was saying something to the other, and then getting upset at them for doing the same things that they were doing, but they didn't realize that. So I was able to step in and be like, you realize that you're upset at her for like having boundaries when you're doing the same thing. You also have boundaries for her, and you think that you're being completely just open and vulnerable, etc., etc. So I was able to step in, and it was a long, long night of hours of crying and praying and holding each other's hands and hugging, and them thanking me like for just being there and not judging them. And I was crying and thanking them for letting me like just be a part of their family and feel so like welcome and like this was normal, because I don't judge anybody for going through stuff like this at all. And I would give anything for someone to be able to step into my family and do that in times of when we're arguing, so that those of us who are being more closed-minded can see like, oh my gosh, this person, like, that I should be so embarrassed that they're listening to all of our stuff, is like hearing our crap and offering this perspective, and I'm listening to them, because it's not my daughter that I can scold and tell that they're in the wrong. It's not my spouse who I just, I know so well that I can just kind of brush off what they say. So Juliana trying to moderate yesterday, she was doing the right thing, and I think she was saying the right things, but it wasn't getting through to certain people, because in our family, she's a 16-year-old, she's a little girl, and she's a baby, and like, okay, we're not really going to take her seriously because what does she really know about life, But you, Mimis, I think you're very mature for your age. You're very smart and wise. And I was just talking to someone very close to me about how, like, I asked them, is it weird that I have Juliana on the podcast and then I talk to her about these things or whatever? And they were worried that, like, I am, I don't know, maybe putting you into these situations and these conversations that are not good or healthy for you. And Juliana just shook her head no. I did want to ask you, like, do you feel that way? Because I don't want to feel like I'm like dumping things on you or talking about things that are too deep or too serious.
No, I mean, eventually it's gonna happen either way.
I know you're only 16, but I was doing things at your age that someone 16 shouldn't be doing. And I just don't think, personally, I don't see anything wrong with, like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to be therapy for you. But I feel like these conversations should be had between people in families. And I'm not your mom, but as your older sister, I don't want to see you struggle with communication and boundaries and be unaware of things that could harm you in your future and your family and your life. And I think you've done a really good job at processing things so far and seeing perspective, and you're very open-minded and open-hearted, and you were trying to help with me, mom, and my other sister. And I don't think that these problems are ever going to be solved without an outsider's perspective, because unfortunately, although I feel like what you were saying was right, it's so different not having someone else step in and kind of just like smack sense into everybody's face and open your eyes like, hello, no, this is a stranger that doesn't even know exactly what the situation is, and they're telling you like it is straight up. Like, that's pretty much what I did for my friend's family. And so it turned into, like tears, and it's on Thanksgiving night. Everybody's crying and frustrated and stressed out. And I don't think anything, do you think anything was solved?
No.
No. Eventually, it gets to a point where one of us wants to walk out of the house. They're like, come on, let's go. We're leaving. We're going to leave the house. And I was like, please just don't leave, because this is what happens every time, because she is uncomfortable and she wants to walk out, but nothing ever gets solved. And then the other person just keeps pushing and pushing and bickering and fighting about the same thing that's pushing that person that wants to walk away out the door, instead of listening to Juliana being like, can we stop being defensive and can we just talk about it. And so I convinced one of the people to like stay and not leave to continue talking about it. But when you can't take some type of constructive criticism from people that love you, like obviously none of us here are trying to hurt each other or like kill each other or hit each other or anything. So I don't understand why taking something serious that is maybe a bad trait about yourself and trying to work on it and fix it should not be looked at as a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. Like, it just, nothing changed. And eventually it was, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We're not talking about this anymore. And they would just stop. And then they would keep mumbling things like under their breath or whatever. So eventually this is my type of personality. I just get pissed off, and I don't get pissed off. I just get very frustrated at people being closed-minded. So at one point I got to the point and I said, you know what, Mimi, stop trying to moderate it. Stop trying to talk and sort things out. Why don't you go downstairs and you get a board game and bring up the rummy cube and put it on the kitchen table, and we're all going to not talk about the serious issues in our lives, and we're going to sit down and we're going to have fun and play some games and ignore everything, so that next Thanksgiving and Christmas we can fight about this stuff again, because nothing's going to get fixed. And then they all got offended, and we played board games and we had fun and we made some memories, I guess, but you know, we brush it under the rug, and everybody slaps a Band-Aid on it temporarily for the night. And this was kind of, not gonna lie, the reason I'm talking so much about it, I'm sorry, like, if I interrupted you, but she said no. Okay, I didn't interrupt her. But this was also my worst part of the week. It's ridiculous to me that we had fun today. And I said at one time around the table, I said, yep, till next time. Because do you, as a 16-year-old, do you think it's going to happen again?
Yeah.
Like literally next week? And these are the kinds of things that I like talking about on this podcast after goofing around and giggling and stuff like that. But your family dynamic and the communication and the bitterness and the boundaries and all of that needs to be talked about, because my friend's family that I was there, like, kind of mediating for, there were multiple times where a member of her family was grabbing their shoes and they were trying to walk out, and they were like, I'm leaving, we're not talking about this. They were about to leave. And she looked at me and she said, Jenny, if you were not there, they would have walked out and left for hours and then come home in the middle of the night when everybody's quiet, and we would have went on like nothing happened. And people think that that's healthy because everybody calmed down, you got space, and you came back and you continued living like nothing happened. I think that that is okay to do after you fix the problem. At least me personally. And because I was there, they were embarrassed to put their shoes on and walk out from their family with everybody like reaching out their arms like, please, like, listen to us. Can we talk about this? This is hurting me. Why can't we fix this? Blah, blah, blah. And they were so embarrassed to like put their shoes out and leave that they stayed, and they had really embarrassing, hard, long, annoying, tear-jerking talks. Like, it really did take at least a couple hours. And that's what I feel like members of our family yesterday were not willing to do. It literally takes patience and time. We should have literally sat our butts down at the table and talked, and stop with the shrugging of our shoulders like the I don't know emoji. Oh, just everything you say is like, shut up. Stop being defensive. I'm just telling you what hurt my feelings. Can you just say sorry and try to be aware of it and stop doing that next time? And when you do it next time, acknowledge it and fix the behavior. Or next Thanksgiving, we're all going to be in freaking tears again. It's ridiculous. So there's our worst part of the week. Now, as tradition on this podcast, and after we've all gotten a little bit of enlightenment, to follow up from the negativity, you got to give us 2 positives. And then because that was so freaking negative, and it was also my worst part of the week, I also have to give 2 positives. So this means 4 positives are coming your way, folks. Oh God, here we go.
You go first.
The best parts of my week was, oh my gosh, therapy. I had my first actual therapy session. So now I'm a licensed therapist and I can give you advice, and everybody here.
Wait a minute.
I'm just kidding. What?
Lesson or like appointment?
Lesson? Did I say
What?
lesson?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Did I say therapy lesson?
I think so.
Ew, that's not it. I had an appointment with a therapist for the first time in my 32 years of life. That's ridiculous. And I already learned something. Do you want to hear what it is?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get deep. So, after you guys have learned about, okay, so I'm going to therapy because I got to a really, really bad place after going through a very bad situation that turned into divorce, which is the most disgusting part of my life. I'm so ashamed till the day that I die. Try not to get teary-eyed here, that I'm a divorced woman. I absolutely hate it. That has brought me to the worst, lowest place and depression of my entire life. After 32 years of different, I knew Juliana was about to tap my arm at any second. Every podcast she taps my arm and I say, don't pity me. Thank you for the affection. She laid her little head on my shoulder. Anyways, I've struggled with all kinds of depression like throughout my life, but it's never been like bad. It's always been like seasonal depression, or I'll just have like really sad days because it's gloomy outside and rainy. But this depression is like a new low, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to depression anymore. I just was pushed to get into therapy finally and talk to someone, and I don't really know what they can say that's gonna like, oh my God, blow my mind and enlighten me. I've never heard of that before. I've never thought of that. I've never said that to myself. Like, I'm very real with myself, so I feel like anything that a therapist is gonna say, I already know, not because I know everything, but just like, I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what things I'm doing stupid and keeping in my life that are toxic and yada yada. I just don't know how to feel happy anymore. And that's nothing that anybody can help me do. Nobody's going to be able to make me feel happy. I have to make me feel happy. But I just don't find joy in things anymore. So all of this, the very end of the session, turned into my biggest problem in life is I don't know how to set boundaries. Healthy boundaries, but pretty much boundaries at all. I don't know how to say no. I don't know how to turn someone down and then not be worried for the rest of my life that they're mad at me, or that I'm offending them, or they're rubbing me the wrong way, or they are annoyed of me. I just don't know how to say no. And so I've gotten myself into really bad, unhealthy predicaments because of my inability to set boundaries. And so the therapist gave me some insight, of which is something that I have done before. So subconsciously, I do know this. But her saying it out loud to me helped me realize that it will help me cope with, I don't like saying no to people. When Mom asked me today, when you're done with your camper, can you come help me paint and redecorate and move this and build this and build that? She wants me to set up her entire gym in her basement. And I did it today just because I was in a bad mood, and I looked at Mom and I straight up in her eyes, I said, no. I said no for the first time in my life. And she didn't take it offensively because for some reason she didn't. I don't know. But any other time, I feel like it would be like, you help everybody else and you always help your friends this and you do this and you do that and you're going to say no to your own mother. That makes me feel so freaking guilty. And I have struggled so badly with that my whole life. So, my therapist told me that when I need to say no to someone, I don't need to explain why I'm not available. No, I can't help you in your basement because when I'm done with the camper, I have to go here and I have to do this and I have to fix that. They don't need an explanation. They also don't need to know if I'm actually available or not. If I am free that day, I could just be like, I'm sorry, I'm unavailable. But what I can do is offer a solution that would be helpful to them. So I could tell mom, sorry, ma, I can't help you in the basement that week, but maybe the week after, when everything has settled down, I can come and cook dinner for you guys so that you don't have to stress out about food, or I can get your groceries or something. Like, offer something that would be helpful for her so that she doesn't just hear no and then that's it. And I'm just being rude. I'm not being a biatch. So I looked at the therapist and I was like, oh, I actually did that this week. And she's like, really? How so? And I was like, well, my sister-in-law wanted me to come to my my niece's birthday party, which I genuinely 100% did not want to miss. But it landed on the last nice day of weather in Indiana that I could work on the camper. And that day that I didn't go to the party, I felt really, really bad. But I have not gotten as much done on the camper as I have that day. Like, I would have regretted that so much because it would have taken my entire day and I would still be stuck with the door off and just a mess. And it's freezing outside now. So I don't regret saying no. But in my text to her, I worded it and I was like, I'm so sorry. I might not be able to make it to the birthday party, but I'm going to see you guys on Thanksgiving. So next week, no matter what, like, I'll see you guys. Don't worry. And she was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Because I offered her another chance for like me to see the family. She wasn't like as hurt or offended by it, maybe. And sad part is I actually wasn't able to see them on Thanksgiving. So I'm going to try and stop by their house tomorrow to see them. Because just things change. And then my grandpa ended up in the hospital and it's just been a mess. And you can't control that in people's lives. So someone setting boundaries is it. Do they love me any less? I don't know. They shouldn't. But when you're setting a boundary, you can just offer someone else another solution if you're really worried about saying no. Because what I should be able to do is literally just do what I did to mom and be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't come to the party. But when people do that to me, I'm like, ew. Like, literally, like, they'll text me like that and I'll be like, okay, well, sorry, I'm not going to invite you to anything else again. But it really is true. Like, people can be sensitive sometimes. So that's just another way to approach that, I guess. And so I'm working on, when I set boundaries, wording it in a way that makes me not feel like a biatch to myself. So I don't feel guilty, you know? Did I repeat myself like 3 million times?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm sorry if I did to you guys out there. I feel like I was like repeating myself or something. So that was my positive, was therapy. And then another positive was I got to see Emrys. I never really get to see him, and I like when he cuddles me and he's so... What? Why'd you make that face?
He bothers too much.
He does bother, but he is like 4. No, he doesn't bother. Somebody just paid me
Money?
something. Who paid me monies?
Femno?
Somebody just sent me money.
Ooh.
Hang on. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry. My Venmo just went off at 12:20. Hang on. I need to check this. That's like weird. It goes off at the... To make your dreams come true. Oh my gosh. Is this Andrew? Do you see that? Did you just see that?
Well,
Andrew. Oh my gosh, how funny. I was just about to message him. Okay, I have one of my like loyal followers. Oh my god. It's for the camper memes. I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I'm in shock. What are the... Okay, I was just about to message you that like I'm talking to him as if he's listening. I don't even know if he listens to this podcast. I'm going to tell him, though, about it. Oh, my God. I was just about to message him. He was like, hey, I have a donation that I want to send you. Is there a way that I can send it to you so that I can see, like, when you receive it or whatever? Because somebody sent me something on Amazon recently, and I opened it. I did an unboxing on my live stream, and they were, like, so happy to see me, like, unbox. You haven't seen it, right? Have you?
No.
It was an Amazon thing that was on my wish list, and somebody purchased it for my camper, and they're little disco ball mushrooms. You're gonna love them. You love mushrooms. It's a mushroom like this big, like it stands up like this high, and it's made of little mirrors, like a disco ball.
I want a disco ball mushroom.
Oh my God, I know. It came with 2. You can have one if you want.
Only if you don't want it.
I mean, of course I want it, but I have 2. I don't need 2. I mean, I do need to, but I love you, and we all love mushrooms. Oh my gosh, so I opened it, and I was like, oh my God, this is how I react every time you guys send me something. So Andrew was like, hey, I want to send you a donation, and I was about to message him, like, hey, next time I'm on my live stream, just, like, try to grab my attention there or whatever. But I must have not sent my message to him in time or something, and he sent, guys, shout out Andrew Brown. He just paid me $500 on Venmo for my camper renovations. My heart is like pounding right now. Oh my gosh. Andrew, I've got to send this back immediately. You cannot be giving me that much money. That is too kind and too generous. Oh my gosh. I have to message him right now and tell him about this. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I'm just like in shock. I don't even know what to do. I feel like that is like just way too generous. And I'm like trying to stop myself from crying. I have cried so much. And Juliana's tapping my shoulder again and putting her head on my shoulder. Isn't that so nice?
Yeah.
She just said, wow, that just shows he cares. And she put her little hand on her heart. But I have cried so much on Thanksgiving already yesterday with the family, and I'm like so stressed out. I'm sure it's gonna hit me like as soon as I stop recording. I feel like, I don't know, I try to stop myself from crying when I'm on like TikTok live. A couple times it's gotten to me when I'm like finally overwhelmed and it all hits. I'm like, my hands shake. Do you see my hand shaking? It just stopped.
Flickering.
The light's flickering. No, my hand was just shaking because like that, you guys are so freaking nice to me. And I literally wouldn't be here without you guys. I literally would not be here without you guys. So that's my second. That's my third. Oh my God. Perfect timing, Andrew. That is my third positive of the week. What the heck? Somebody just donated hundreds of doll hairs to Pearl, my freaking camper, my home. He said he titled it "To Make Your Dreams Come True." I'm gonna cry. I can't. Take it away. Your 2 positives. You can't move the microphone that much. You're pulling the cord.
Oops. Okay, back to my show.
She holds the microphone all confident.
Okay, take it back.
No. Back to your show. That's funny.
I don't know what to do with my show.
Your 2 positives.
Oh.
Okay, bitch.
I can only think of one.
We gotta be quiet because Mom is gonna scream at us. Give them some ASMR. Ew. Don't ever do that again. Okay, ASMR. That's her show.
Okay. I can only think of one.
We'll think of another one after your first one.
Okay, the first one is Mima.
What about it?
I got closer to her this week.
You got closer to Mima this week?
She was preaching at me, but it was a nice preaching. I liked it.
Okay.
And
preaching about what?
Preaching?
About you're not right with God?
No, she was just telling me stories about... She was telling me these sections in the book when...
The book or the Bible?
The Bible. The Bible's a book.
Why would you say the book?
Because it's a book.
That's weird. I've never heard anybody reference the Bible as a book.
What?
Like that. She was telling me about the sections of the book. What book? Everybody calls it the Bible, you weirdo.
Well, the Bible is a book.
Okay, we know the Bible is a book.
Anyways, she was telling me stories, and then she was like, "Okay, I love you, mija," like all the time. And then she was texting me, and I was texting her.
She was saying, "I love you." Have we said that on this podcast about how they don't say "I love you" to each other?
I don't know.
Oh,
Can't remember.
well, there's some family tea for you.
But she was texting me and everything.
She said, "I love you" to me this week too. I texted her, "Happy Thanksgiving, Mima. I love you." Or I think I said, "Happy Thanksgiving, Mima. I miss you." I think I said, "I love you." She said, "I love you too, Jenny." She's never texted me that she loves me. Anyways.
And then when she came today, she gave me a hug and she's like, "I'm back. You're stuck with me." She said, "But I like spending time with you. You make me feel peaceful." And I was like, "Oh, me too."
She did?
And yeah.
She said, "You make me feel peaceful." That's so nice.
And then, I don't know.
And then another positive.
I'm trying to think.
Something good or fun that happened this week. So that we can feel peaceful. What? The guy Snapchatting you?
No. Me and my one of my best friends, David, he's so funny. You know how mom takes like 30 minutes to pick me up after school?
No.
Oh, well, I
But
gotta
now
wait
I do.
30 minutes every day.
By yourself?
But sometimes...
That was literally my dream. Mom was always early and right on time to pick me up and be like, "No, I want to talk to my friends." She would always show up and I'd have to leave and it would be so sad because it was the only thing I liked about school was seeing my friends.
But
anyways, God, I don't shut up.
It's okay.
She said it's okay.
Okay. I made plans with my friend David, and instead of me waiting in front of the school, we went and we walked to Popeyes, and then we got food, and we were sitting there, we were eating, and it was so funny. We were running around everywhere.
Where did you get money for Popeyes?
Me? Richness.
Richness? Okay, richness. XO Jazz.
But yeah.
Is she rich or whatever?
What?
Richness. I can't with you. You had enough time to go to Popeyes for 30 minutes before Mom found out.
We were running. We were laughing.
Stop.
It was so funny.
Those are the best memories as a kid. You're never going to forget that. Just you and your friend David?
And then this other girl.
Does he like you?
He's gay.
Why did you whisper that?
I don't know.
She like said it to where I was like positive. Like she was trying to assure me that nothing happened. She looked at me. He's gay. You're so stupid. So he didn't try holding your hand or kissing you?
No.
Thank God.
But
gayness.
But
you better watch it with who you're talking to online, young lady. The internet is a
they're
dangerous
right next to
place.
me.
Remember, mark my words, delete your Snapchat immediately.
Oh my goodness.
The podcast cut us off when Mom texted us. She was like, "Be quiet now." And I was like, if only she knew that I was here protecting my little sister from her Snapchat shenanigans and this bardage apps these days. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. Well, those were some pretty good positives. And I literally just got $500 from my amazing loyal followers after I was just whining and complaining that my podcast isn't paying me anymore. What the heck? The universe is kind of, sort of, sometimes, every once in a while, bending in a positive direction. That's helping me see some light at the end of the tunnel. This camper's almost done. Andrew's donation is going to it's just I think people think I make a lot of money online, and I'm just going to be transparent here on the podcast because this is where we get deep and where we get real. I do not, guys. When I say Anchor was paying me for my podcast, I don't have hundreds and hundreds of subscribers on this podcast. So I was making I don't know, maybe 20 cents per ad or per podcast. I don't know. It's like literally that small. So I always say that it is not expected and it's not necessary, but it is greatly appreciated. I know that there are people out there with kind and generous hearts that no matter what I say, they're gonna want to give back to you in some way. You guys are just very loyal and loving and kind and giving, and I appreciate you so much. So thank you for being here. I think we said all of our positives, right? So we're gonna end the podcast with Word Girl, like we normally do.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're new to the podcast, it's a word association game, you're going to catch on right now about what we're doing.
I tried to play with Mia and it did not work.
No? Why not?
I think she got bored.
She got bored? She's a Pisces. She should love a game like this.
I don't know.
You guys just couldn't land on the same word? Or was she not understanding?
I think she was not. I think I explained it wrong.
You're kind of vague sometimes. You have to tell her just like the first thing that you think of. Like if she says red and you say blue, what's the first thing that you think of in your head?
But the part where like you put them together. Like if I say plant, no, the one where you put them together.
You don't put them together.
Yeah, if I say apple and you say plant,
we would say green, wouldn't we?
Yeah, because you put them together.
No, I mean, okay, so that's what you guys have to talk about, I guess. Like, technically, if you want to play this game with someone and you don't know how your personalities clash or not, you can try and talk through, are we trying to find something in common with these two, or are we just saying the first word that our brain thinks of when you hear those words? Like me, my brain, when you say plant, I'm already picturing a green plant. When you say an apple, I'm already picturing a green apple, because I mean, some people picture red apple, but I picture green. So as soon as you say plant and apple, I'm thinking green. But you can explain it with someone and play it in a way to where, which I don't think you're even supposed to explain this at all. You're just supposed to play the game. That's what it is. It's word association. But you can be like, what would a plant and an apple have in common with each other? Like, what would they both have, or what can both come from them, or whatever? So you could end on the word stem. Little stem on an apple, and a plant has a stem. So, like, yeah, I guess I don't know how you play in your head. I play just flat out, like, what's the first thing your brain thinks? Pretty much. But sometimes, like, the first thing my brain thinks would be, like, something like that, like a stem. Like, you're thinking about it, you know? Does that make sense? You literally look confused, and you play this game all the freaking time. What is wrong with you?
Okay, anyways.
So what do you think she was confused about? She didn't know which way you were going?
Yeah.
Which way do you do it?
I do it the second way.
You do it where you're trying to find something in common. Okay, I'll play like that then with you.
No.
No. You like the other way better?
I like it when you do the other way.
Okay, so you like it when you're thinking of two things that go together with it, and I'm thinking the way I think. Because somehow we still land on the same one. You're a fidgeter. You need a fidget spinner.
No fidget spinners.
Yes. Okay, ready? Random word. 3, 2, 1.
Flash.
Roblox. Flash? Okay,
The flashing lights.
Okay. Ready?
No.
See, you're trying to put something together in common with them. My brain already thought of the first thing it thought of. That's funny. Which also still kind of, I don't know, has something to do with each other.
The first thing I thought of doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, say it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
The
Video
Incredibles.
games. You thought The Incredibles because of a superhero Flash.
No, because of that one scene in the second one where like things are flashing everywhere and she's fighting and
Roblox and Flash made you think of The Incredibles.
yeah, because it's like a game. They're
It's like a
fighting
game?
in the movies and the bad guy,
Okay,
whatever.
play your normal way because that don't make no sense.
Okay, what was yours?
But mine was video games.
Oh,
Because video game, I don't know, just like the flashing on the screen, and Roblox is a video game.
video
Do
games.
you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You see what I'm doing now? Like when you say Roblox, I'm already thinking like, oh, what is Roblox? It's a video game. And then you say Flash, I'm like, yeah, like the superhero Flash, video game, screen, movie.
Okay.
Okay, but you said Incredibles and I said video game, so now we have to think of something.
Okay.
You ready? Video game and Incredible. 3, 2, 1. Superhero.
Yay!
We did it! So did you think of the first word that came to your head, or did you
No,
find something in common?
I thought of what you said.
Which was?
You said superheroes. I was like, oh, that one
Oh
matches.
my god. Cheater, pumpkin pie.
No.
Guys, my mother's boyfriend today, we were playing, what was it? You guys were playing Rummy Cube?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't just laugh right now with me saying that. Do you not know the saying?
Cheater, pumpkin eater?
Yes, it's cheater, pumpkin eater. And he literally kept, no, cheater, pumpkin pie. I almost died. I am forever saying cheater, pumpkin pie. What the hell even is that? That makes no sense. It doesn't rhyme. What does a cheater have to do with a pumpkin pie? Cheaters, all
What
the
do
cheaters
they
in the
have to
world
do
better
with-
stay away from my pumpkin pie.
What did cheaters to do with pumpkin eaters?
I don't know, actually. Pumpkin eater? Cheater, pumpkin eater. I don't know. Where does that... You know what? This is a great podcast thing right now. Actually, this is how we're ending the podcast. Guys, I never press record. All right. Normally we end on word girl, but today we're going to end on what is the origin of the phrase cheater, pumpkin eater. And I just did all of this, but the stupid recording didn't save. You missed the drama of Mima getting up to pee again, and Juliana ran across the room to the other side, acting like... You guys, you have to check my Instagram stories. I'm gonna upload a picture of what I look like right now. I don't know how she thinks we're gonna get away with this if we get caught tonight. Anyways, and then I told her to come say bye, and she goes, and then that's it. That's what she whispers. I was like, what? She goes, and then that's it. You dork. Okay, so Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well, is a traditional children's rhyme from at least 1797. Cheater, pumpkin eater is a modern cheater shout based on the rhyme. Cheater, pumpkin eater has been cited in print since at least 1992. Peter, pumpkin eater. Yeah, so I don't know. Did Peter just like pumpkins?
No, he trapped his wife in a pumpkin shell.
Why would he put his wife in a pumpkin shell, and how does that even work?
Because he couldn't keep her.
But how does she fit into a pumpkin? Are they rabbits? Is it Peter Rabbit? Because he eats pumpkins?
No, Peter Rabbit eats carrots.
Well, how would he put his wife in a pumpkin shell?
Link put the Deco Princess in a bottle in Majora's Mask.
This is dumb. Peter, pumpkin had a wife, put her in a pumpkin shell, and he kept her there very well. That don't make no sense. So that's where cheater, pumpkin eater comes from, but it is officially now forever cheater, pumpkin pie. I don't think some mom's boyfriend. I can't. Okay. We're gonna go because Juliana is literally getting paranoid that my mom's gonna come storming down the stairs telling us to shut up. And this rainbow laptop is giving us away, guys. So I've got to put it away. Okay? Thank you for being here. Love you guys. And then I say bye, puta.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
There's the intro to the podcast.
That ain't gonna bother.
Oh, yes, it is going to bother people.
Yeah, right.
Oh, God. We'll talk to you later.
Damn, dude.
I can't. Every time I try to press record to start this podcast, the guy in the background starts screaming, and he has the loudest freaking voice, and it's like the person across the street can't hear him or something. He's gotta yell. Hello. Welcome to Ill for Real. I am with my little sister,
Mimis.
aka Juliana. If you are not new to the podcast, you have heard her plenty of times. She was my assistant today at a wedding. We are in Three Oaks, Michigan, and we just got back from 19 North at Frolics. It's like a little restaurant and a shop. Hey. Give them a moment, please. Frolics is like a little shop. They have like a bunch of Christmas things, like local honey and pickles. There was a little restaurant inside and a bar and a liquor store, and upstairs from that is the venue, and it is gorgeous. If you follow on Instagram, you saw me sharing on my stories about this venue. It's my first wedding, getting back into the wedding industry that I have sang and performed at. It wasn't like someone that I know. It wasn't a friend or a family member. She found me, I believe, online and booked me. So I thought, but then I was like, oh, admiring the bride as she walks out today with her bridesmaids, and they're taking pictures, and they're like, oh my gosh, you sound beautiful, good job. I'm like, thank you. And
Yeah, it was beautiful, brother. It was beautiful.
Did you hear what I was talking about? That was perfect timing.
Is Brandy working?
Dear God. Check this audio. Sorry, guys.
Eugene down there?
I'm waiting to hear this man's name, because as soon as I learn his name, I know everything about him.
Performers that do that. But it's so cool.
I know his entire life story, what he did last week, where his son's getting married, where he works, how long he's worked. I've never wanted to speak loud enough to where the entire restaurant knows my entire life story. Can you imagine?
And then my husband cheated on me.
But we're at Featherbone. Half of it is a bar and the other half is a restaurant, and it's all locals. You can tell he must be in here every day. They all know him. He's saying hi to everybody that passes. And I just wanted to record a cute little podcast like this. This is the cutest thing to me. Ready? Oh, I'm stirring my coffee. It's adorable, but it cannot be enjoyable for you guys with him screaming in the background. You're chewing, you're stomping.
That's because I've never had these before. They're good.
You like the fried portobellos?
I was going to go to Four Winds.
Oh yeah? You was gonna go to Four Winds?
It was fun. Working.
It was fun working at the wedding. She was my assistant. She helped me carry all the equipment up the 2 flights of stairs. She took some videos for me. If she would learn how to sing harmonies, she would be singing with me. The venue was gorgeous. I was working alongside Danielle at Unveiled Events I think it's in Valpo. If you're local to Indiana, you may know the wedding industry. And 27 Entertainment was the DJ for the reception. And we just came here because I didn't have like an invitation for dinner as a vendor. Maybe I did, but I just didn't know. Then we're gonna go back to the reception, because come to find out, like I was saying a second ago, I was saying hi to the mother of the bride, and she was like, oh, no, here he comes, he's coming back. She's like, you might know, you're the singer, right? You might know my nephew, Fade. And I was like, Fade? I worked with him at the music school. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, what a small world. I was like, funny enough, when I met Fade, I found out that his sister is married to my cousin.
Ooh.
Fade, I used to work with him at the music school. He was my coworker. He is married to, his sister is Joan. Joan, who is married to our cousin Caleb.
That's why she was there.
Yes, the mother of the bride is related to Fade Jones. So that's her
Cousin.
aunt. Oh. That's her aunt, yeah. And so I was like, oh, so Joan is related to the bride. They are cousins. And I thought she just found me online, but maybe it wasn't Joan that advertised my wedding singing to her, because Joan was like, what are you doing here? I don't know. So maybe Fade was like, oh, I know somebody, because they might have asked him to play piano. He plays stuff, does music, so they probably asked him to do something for the wedding. But he was probably like, oh, I know someone, I'm not available. And that's how they heard about me. But I thought it was so crazy. It was like small world. Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
Is there anything else that you guys need?
Just some extra napkins, if that's okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yum, yum. Oh my gosh. Mimi's, what did you order?
A hamburger.
A hamburger?
A cheeseburger.
There's the tomato and the onion. Oh my god, I've never put somebody put more mayo on a burger in my life. You just squeeze the whole rest of the bottle out. Oh my god, that is disgusting. You're gonna eat that like that?
It's good.
Juliana, how are you not 300 pounds? Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy.
I almost said you too. And I got a gigantic Reuben with some fries and barbecue sauce. Have you had a Reuben? Do you want to try it? Oh my god, try it.
Thank you.
Swiss cheese and corned beef. She looked at it like I'm crazy. It's delicious. I didn't know what to order with fried mushrooms. I just really needed fried mushrooms. I sound so gross and stuffy, but it's funny because I just sang at a wedding and I kicked it. Oh my gosh, I pushed it and pushed it and pushed it off. I'm loaded up on meds. I'm sorry. And now that I'm done singing, I'm not like anxious about it anymore. So I can just like let my body be sick. I was like just in the mental state of like, pretend that I am not sick and you're gonna feel not sick. Why don't we do this more often? If we would just pretend that we were not sick. I literally felt fine. I felt great until right now. Now I'm like, okay, wedding's over. I'm so sick. I'm like dying. Why? I could just be faking that I'm not sick again. But I did not sound like this nasally while I was singing, did I? No. I pushed it off. I did good. And now I'm very sorry you're listening to my sniffles, but I had to take advantage of Mimi's being with me and having a podcast guest. I forgot what I was going to talk to you about. Anyways, guys, I am really hungry, so I'm going to finish eating my food. I'm going to let Juliana finish eating her food. I am hoping that Billy Bob Thornton doesn't come back screaming and yelling in here and telling his whole life story to the restaurant again. At the Featherbed restaurant. What is it called? Featherbone. And then we're going to take off and maybe we'll finish this off in a car cast, okay? And because I cannot, with Juliana smacking over her mouth for one more second, say goodbye.
Bye.
Oh my God, finally we are out of there. We're in the car and it's peace and quiet. And as we're walking out of the door, guys, I can't. I have a bodysuit on with no braciela underneath, no bra. I'm not wearing a bra, so not gonna lie, the nips were hard and they're pretty obvious. They're pretty in your face. So there was a guy parked outside the restaurant and he was like staring with his window open. And I was like, great, I'm about to be catcalled. Whoa, yippee. That's me humbled immediately. The guy goes, unfortunately, he goes, hey, do you guys know what this place is called? And I go, we're looking around for the signs. Feather butt. I almost said feather butt. I literally almost called it feather butt. Because why? Is this the hardest freaking name to remember? And then the name of the restaurant is tiny on the sign. It says, the Featherbone Restaurant and Lounge. That's what it looks like. The restaurant and lounge is gigantic, and the word the is big, and Featherbone is tiny. Is Featherbed? Feather Rock? Feather Bottom? No, Feather Butt. What are the odds that I freaking cannot remember the name of this place and somebody asks me what it's called? Immediately, no, sir. We are on our way back to the wedding venue to say hi to my cousin and the kids that I haven't seen in forever and to try and find the bride and get a picture with her. Hopefully she's not like literally having the time of her life dancing in the middle of the dance floor on her wedding day. And I'm like, can I get a picture with you? Freaking stranger over here with her nipples out. Smelling like feather butt. I'm gonna smell like a freaking Reuben.
Freaking 1,000. Now here's corned beef over here wants to take a picture with you. Make way for corned beef girl with her freaking bodysuit that unsnapped, so my hoo-ha's just hanging out. I gotta button it back up under my skirt. Dear God, I'm a hot mess. Just a hot mess. And what are you doing with your taking your shoes off and you're walking into this woman's wedding venue with slippers and fuzzy socks?
Oh, I'm changing my socks. I'm getting a blister.
You're gonna wear fuzzy socks outside of your boots into this woman's wedding.
I did this last
You look
time.
like a Halloween costume.
But I had
Hopefully nobody sees those because it looks literally so dumb. Blue fuzzy socks poking out of your witch boots with your beautiful flowery dress. Anyways, are you ready to go to freaking Featherbutt?
we're already at Featherbutt.
Oh, I mean Frolics, whatever the hell it's called. Too many things with F around here. F off! Okay, we'll see you guys later.
So do 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 you, and I will do me. Ew. Okay, for real.